Hello. Today is February 12th, February 12th, 2022. My name is Dave, aka the Extended Fasting Fat Guy, and this is a special video I am doing. I think I'm up to number 16 in my normal series of videos, which chronicles my ongoing intermittent fasting routine and progress with my weight loss. By the way, I'd like to introduce a new guest here that nobody's ever met before. This is Gem, that's Gem. She's a kitty of mine that lives here with myself and my roommate. Normally she does not jump up on the table because Lucy does, but for whatever reason Lucy's not here right now. I'm sure she'll be along shortly. In the meantime, Gem's come for a visit. Gem's great. Gem is actually the most senior of all the current occupants in the house here. She has my friend and my roommate brought her with her when she first moved in here 12 years ago. She was just a kitten. I think she was only about 6 months old, and here she is still 12 years later, pardon me, still kicking and doing great. So she's a real sweetheart. Well, she yells a lot, but she's a nice cat. She's not quite as grumpy and aggressive as Lucy is, but anyways, it's nice to see her up here for a change instead of Lucy. Not that I'm not happy to see Lucy. Anyways, yeah, this is not going to be one of my normal videos where I talk about my ongoing progress. I mean, I guess I can touch on that a little bit, but that's not really the purpose of this video here. This video is because I actually got a very nice email from somebody earlier in the week, and they had some questions about my routine and whatnot, and rather than I had emailed them back and said, do you mind if I answer these questions in video form rather than type out a message, because I just thought it would be easier, number one, and number two, these are questions which probably some other people might have, or just things that we want to talk about. So I figured, what the heck, why not? So yeah, we're going to address some of these questions that I got from this young lady. If this happens to be one of the first videos of mine that you've seen, basically I have been on an extended fasting regime for about 3.5 months now. I started off at 403 pounds in November 2021, and as of last week I was 330 pounds, so I've lost 73 pounds in the last 3.5 months by alternating extended fasts. So I do a 3-day or a 4-day fast. Sorry, I stopped petting Gem, she's upset. I do a 3 or 4 day fast, then I take a 12-hour refeed, and then I go right back to fasting. So I don't eat consecutive days ever. I made an exception for New Year's and Christmas, but other than that, I've not eaten more than 1 day without a fast in between since last November 1st, and yeah, that's it. So I've been doing this for a while now, 3.5 months. Like I said, 73 pounds, and some people have been very kind. I'm actually up to 17 or 18 subscribers now, which is crazy because I haven't actually publicized this channel, so that's cool. A couple of people have asked me, am I going to publicize it, because it's my understanding that if you get like 1,000 subscribers to your YouTube channel, then actually you can get some money from it or whatever. I have mixed feelings about that. I would love some money because I am flat freaking broke. I'm on disability right now due to my heart condition, and I'm on the waiting list to have surgery for that. And the disability pay that I get is through my insurance and my job, but it's very, very minimal. It's not a large amount of money at all. So I would be any extra money I could possibly make would be nice. But I'm not really doing this to try and be a YouTube celebrity or to be any sort of weight loss guru or whatever. It's funny because I got into this routine, like I started rotating fasts on my own. It was just an idea that I came up with on my own, pretty much. But then when I started doing them, I researched it, and that's when I found Jerome Ortega, who has the Finally Fasting YouTube channel, and his videos were, he was I think a videographer and a photographer by trade. Like he's very, I think like he did weddings and stuff like that. So his quality of his videos were crazy good, like professional quality. And he had like all sorts of graphics and things like that, right? So and his channel was monetized. So not only did he get, I think, a couple $100 a month or whatever from the number of views that he got, but also he had a Patreon set up so people could donate. I probably actually would have donated to his Patreon, even though I'm broke, if it not for the fact that he stopped doing it last July. I started in the fall, but the late summer of last year, he actually quit updating the channel. So I'm worried. I've always been worried that I hope he didn't fall off the horse or whatever. I hope he's just too busy. But he was doing like at least one update every week or every couple weeks, and he was actually like his weigh-ins very similar to what I do, just much more professionally done. But anyways, I have no issue with people monetizing their content, and certainly I emulated what he was doing. I don't feel comfortable at this point myself trying to be some sort of guru or try and give people advice or whatever. I don't mind sharing my experiences, but as I've said many times, I didn't get into this to make money or to kind of come across like I know what I'm doing, because I'm still learning what I'm doing. I've also mentioned that if I ever get to the point where I've lost 100 pounds, then maybe I will publicize the channel a little bit more, because that's a pretty major amount of weight to lose, and I think by that point I'll probably have some experiences I want to share with people. But until that point, I'm not at that stage. Excuse me. Chico, hey, Cheeks. I live on a main street here, and every time my dog sees somebody walk past the house, he takes that very personally and barks when he shouldn't. Chico! Hey! Somebody's walking a dog past the house, and that's not allowed. That's got him very upset, which is just too bad. So anyways, as I said, Jerome's videos were professional, mine not so much. Hi. I'm sorry, I stopped petting you. If I publicize the channel and then I put a whole bunch of effort into it, like trying to do like fancy schmancy graphics and stuff like that, then I don't know. It's not that I have like low self-esteem or anything like that. It's just I don't know that that's necessarily the route I want to go yet, or at all. But we'll see. Would you please behave yourself? Chico, hey, stop, please, stop. Oh, great, now he's going to argue about one of the neighbor's dogs. We may have to do a reshoot on this one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off with him carrying on like that. He doesn't listen. All right, so anyways, like I said, I'm very glad to get comments from people, and I'm glad to have people subscribe to the channel, and I'm glad to get emails from people. So I got an email from a young lady by the name of Valerie. I just made some notes. I didn't actually print it off because I don't have a printer. Like I said, I'm on disability, don't have a lot of money. But anyways, she's very complimentary to me, saying, basically she admires what I'm doing, and it's helped her, inspired her, and that kind of stuff, which is nice. Starts off by asking me, now some of these questions are things I've already talked about in the other videos, but I'll answer them anyways, because they're general questions, which I think other people might find interesting or whatever. Number one, have I decided for sure what my goal weight is and when I'm going to reach it? The answer to that is yes. I've mentioned that a few times. I'm not a huge believer in what they call the BMI, the body mass index. I've always found that it tends to be, in my opinion, a little bit lower than is realistic for people. One of my best friends is 6'1", and he weighs about 225, and he is like built like a brick wall, like very muscular, lean and stuff. And if he was to go by the BMI, he'd probably need to be, like they'd say, he has to be under 200 pounds or whatever. I don't know, but it's just those things always seem to me to be a little bit on the lean side, the BMI. So I don't necessarily go by that, but like I think I'm about 5'10" and a half height-wise. I always say 5'11" because I come from a family of tall guys. My dad was 6'1" or 6'2". my older brother is 6'1", and my younger brother is really tall. Like, I think he's the tallest out of all of us. So I never made 6 feet, much to my shame. So I guess I say 5'11" because it sounds like close enough to 6 feet. But whatever. I'm about 5'10" and a half, right? Last time I was measured. So honestly, if you use the BMI, I think my ideal weight is like 185, maybe 190. But here's the thing: I don't ever remember being that light. And I have at points in my life been in pretty decent shape. I mentioned in a previous video that in 1998, I took a sabbatical from work and concentrated on my health. I was a little stressed out from working in social work for so many years, so I took 6 months off, and I basically spent all my time going to the gym, working out, eating healthy, or what I thought was healthy at the time. We didn't know much about carbs and all that kind of stuff back then, but I did my best, and I lost a lot of weight. And when I did go back to work, I was in great shape, and I think I was about 218, 220. And I didn't have a lot of fat on me at that time. And like, I remember my face was very slim and stuff. And also the other thing is that I had put on a lot of muscle because I was working out like every day. Like with free weights, and I got a gym membership and stuff. So and like I said, I was 220, and I was in good shape. Like, so I'm not aiming for 185 or 190, but if I get within spitting distance of 200 pounds, might just for the heck of it try and get under 200. I don't know, but this is something else I've said many times. I don't believe in jinxing. I don't believe in luck and jinxes and stuff like that. But I think it's a bad idea to spend a lot of time dwelling on my goal weight when I'm so far away from it. Like, I'm only 3.5 months into this, and the only thing that lets me even entertain the thought is the fact that I've lost 73 pounds and stuff. So, in theory, if I remain on track, I could be at 100 pounds weight loss by May the 1st, which is not that far away from now. So in answer to the question, yes, I do have a goal weight, and I would say my goal weight at this point is 190. What was it? When do I think I'm going to get there? That's a good question. I would suspect that it will probably take, realistically speaking, I would say probably maybe November or December 1st would probably be a good target for me. As I've said many times, I started this journey on October the 1st. No, I did not. I started on November 1st, sorry. The last big pig meal that I ate before I started my rotating 60-hour fasts at that time was Halloween, October 31st. And then I didn't eat on November 1st and 2nd. So November 1st is when I started. So Cole Robinson has said it's a year to lose. If you do a rotating extended 72-hour fast, you can lose all the weight you want in a year, and that's possible if you crunch the numbers. Like I mentioned this in my most recent 2 videos, is that I've kind of I've gone through the. It's always, Jerome Ortega said this, and other people have said it. If you're morbidly obese and you start losing weight, you're going to lose a lot at first, and then it's going to taper off, and you're going to go through a period where you don't lose as much. Your body starts to fight back, and your metabolism changes and stuff like that. All sorts of different weird things happen. So I've said it ad nauseum, but I'll say it again. I don't expect to lose any less than half a pound a day, especially as long as I'm still morbidly obese, which means over 270 pounds. So if I was to lose any less than half a pound per day on average, that's one of the reasons I'm not weighing myself every single day, because I don't want to get into that whole deal where I get all down because I don't lose half a pound every day. But at the end of every month, if I crunch the numbers, it should average out into half a pound a day. And if it's anything less than that, then I'm going to have an issue, and I'm going to have to make some adjustments. So if you crunch the numbers and I continue to lose half a pound a day, which is what I lost last month, which is what I've lost so far this month, then by November 1st, I should be around 205, which is basically within 5 pounds of my goal weight, right? So that's fine. But I also know that once I've gotten under 270, which, once again, I really feel weird talking about this because it sounds like I'm just assuming that's going to happen, and I've got such a long way to go. Like realistically speaking, I'm looking at Canada Day, which is July 1st, or for my American friends, the 4th of July, that area. That's around the time of the year that I'm looking to get under the morbid obesity line, which is 270, and get into transfer from being a dangerously obese to just overweight and slightly unhealthy. And I know that the more I lose, the longer it's going to take me to lose. Like I said, I remember very specifically watching Jerome's last few videos where he was really struggling to get off those last few pounds. Now, granted, he shortened up his fasts too. Like he was originally doing the 90-hour fast and stuff like that, and then he switched to like 60s at the end, because he'd been doing it for so long. He was doing it for like over a year himself, right? So I think that that I probably would like to do it by November 1st. So I'm still aiming. My ultimate goal is 200 by November 1st, but there's a number of things that could prevent that. There's the fact that my body may start fighting me and I won't lose as much, which is possible. The other two things, which I've talked about at great length, is the fact that I need to make some major adjustments to my diet. I'm still not eating what they call clean. I eat pretty much whatever I want on my eating days, right? And then the other thing is that exercise. I do want to introduce exercise into the equation. Probably either after I've lost 100 or when I've gotten below 270. I haven't decided for sure yet. But that could affect my weight loss too, because if I start putting on any muscle at all, then that could like hamper my monthly losses, right? So, or I could have a thing where my body for a while rejects the weight loss and then it comes back or whatever, I don't know. So I'm still, like I said, realistically speaking, I'd like to say November 1st, 205, but if not, and I'm still losing, that's fine. I'm only going to get upset and frustrated if I hit a point where I'm not losing anything, and that's why I'm so nervous about next week, the 18th, because my goal weight, if I'm losing half a pound a day, should be under 327, and that's where I got stuck. That's where I plateaued the last time. So that's my first major benchmark that I'm aiming for, is 327, to get below 327, and that'll make me feel really good. I know it sounds like an arbitrary number, but that'll make me feel good. So what is my goal weight? When do I think I'll hit it? The next question is, if I meet my goal, what do I think I will do for a maintenance routine? That's an excellent question. Once again, I'm really almost reluctant to even consider that, because that's very presumptuous of me to assume, oh, I'm going to get there. I've got such a long way to go. I mean, that's like, I don't know, that's like you're going to be driving your car from here to like Mexico, and before you've even gotten in the car, you're planning on what you're going to eat the night you arrive, right? It's just, to me, I've got so far ahead of me on this journey that I don't know for sure that I even feel comfortable thinking about that. But by the same token, I am deathly afraid of yo-yo fasting, which is the phenomenon of many other people that have done what I'm doing, who they do manage to exert a tremendous amount of self-control, and they fast for an extended period of time. But then they, as soon as they start eating again, they gain all the weight back, because they didn't really plan. Or once they start consuming food on a regular basis, they discover the fact that they do not have the self-discipline to stop eating, because they haven't addressed the underlying issues of why they have a problem with food. So I am bound and determined to not let that happen to me. And one of the things that I decided this pretty early on, is that I think 72-hour fasts are going to become pretty much a feature of my life from this point onward. Like, I'm not going to be doing these crazy, 84 or 108-hour fasts every week for the rest of my life. I think at some point, if I, God willing, if I do get to a reasonable weight, that would probably be unhealthy for me to keep doing that. I don't think healthy people that are a healthy weight can only eat once or twice a week. I think at some point you're gonna get to the point where you have to be more regular about it. But the flip side is the autophagy effect. If you fast for 72 hours, your body pretty much goes into autophagy, and you regenerate your cells on a cellular level. And that is something that I'm very much interested in for a variety of reasons. Number one, because it reduces inflammation in your body, and I have arthritis and a number of other health issues that I feel that autophagy is very, very helpful for. Also, equally as important, is that there have been some very interesting studies that indicate that autophagy will stave off dementia and Alzheimer's. It doesn't cure it, and it's not totally preventative, but it helps definitely. They've actually done some studies with people that have dementia and Alzheimer's, and they've done autophagy fasting and found that the disease progresses much less quickly in people that the constant regeneration of their cells. It includes the brain. As an aside, if you are visiting my channel, the Extended Fasting Fat Guy YouTube channel, I have now saved a bunch of important videos that have really helped me as a playlist. So if you check out my channel, you can check out the watch list that I have on my channel, and you will see a number of videos. There are videos by Cole Robinson there, so warning for the language. There's a video there by Eric Berg. There's a video there by Jeanette Bosworth. There's a video there by Jason Fung, who is another huge influence on me. And there are a couple of videos with Jerome Ortega. But specifically, there are 2 or 3 videos there. I think Dr. Annette Bosworth, Dr. Jason Fung, and Dr. Eric Berg. All 3 of them deal with autophagy, and there's some really fascinating stats in there. So I would really recommend check out the lists on my channel, and I've just got one list called Weight Loss. I think it's got like 12 videos on it, and there's some great information on autophagy. I put that in there. So I want to keep doing autophagy fasting regardless. Because of that, and also because I think if you do autophagy fasting once a week, then you're really unlikely to gain back a ton of weight, right? So let's say, just for the sake of argument, that I actually did manage to lose all the weight I want to lose, and I make it all the way to 200 pounds or so. I will continue to fast at 72 hours a week. I believe that it would be my plan. I would probably do something like fast 72 hours, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I think for the other days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I would probably go with OMAD. So I think I would probably still do a weekly 72-hour fast from this point on for the rest of my life, and then the other days that I eat, I would try and restrict my eating to an OMAD routine. Which also brings me to my diet again. If I get where I want to go, I don't think I'm going to get all the way to 200 with the diet that I have right now. I think long before I get to that point, I'm going to have to really consider my diet and figure out what I want to do regarding my diet. And one of the things I have been tinkering with, I got a great email that I need to respond to by a young lady by the name of Rebecca, who has also visited the channel, and she was talking about carnivore. And carnivore is something I've looked into. I think if I did carnivore on my eating days, my eat days with my routine that I have right now, I probably wouldn't have such a hard time on day 2, because day 2 really kicks my butt quite badly at this point. Basically, you're fine. I'm always fine the first 24 hours of my fast. I always have a little bit of indigestion, but I don't really crave food too much. But then day 2 is always the hard one now. Lately, that's the one where I really start to crave food, and I'm tempted to cheat, and then by day 3, I think usually by 3 days in, I've gone into full-blown ketosis. Like, I'm day 3 right now. I'm at around I don't know, probably, well, I'm well over 48 hours now. I'm probably in the 50-60 hour range at this point as we speak on my latest 84-hour fast. And I feel fine, like I'm not all that hungry right now and stuff. And then when I do the 4.5, by day 4, I'm still not craving food that much, but I get feeling really weak and brain fog and stuff. And that's when I really got to break out the supplements and the snake juice. Otherwise, I get really lightheaded and stuff. But I've been told and I've read that if you do strict carnivore, then your body doesn't crave sugar and stuff like that, and carbs that much. When you are in an extended fast, and I could certainly use that boost. So number 1, yes, I plan to continue doing autophagy fasting even once I've met my goal, if I make it there, God willing. And number 2, I will have to make some radical changes in my diet, because I don't think, if I'm eating every day, even if it's OMAD, I don't think I'll be able to allow myself junk. I mean, maybe I'll look at having a cheat day or whatever. I don't know. It's all one thing about, you look at my routine, it started off one way and then now it's something totally different, right? Like I started off doing rotating 60-hour fast with an 8-hour refeed or 12-hour refeed, and now I'm doing this wacky routine in February where I'm doing a 3.5-day fast, 12-hour refeed, 4.5-day fast, 12-hour refeed, 3.5. So I'm alternating the reasonable length fasts and the extended fasts. So I mean, listen, I've even tinkered with the idea of doing nothing but 4.5, so like rotating 108s. I don't think I'm going to do that because the fourth day can be a bit of a challenge, but it's something I've considered. It's something, a weapon that I've got in my arsenal just in case I ever hit a plateau, or I get to the point where I'm not, my weight loss is not as optimal as it was. I've always got that as an option. And the other thing is, I did the 5.5-day one at Christmas, right between Christmas night and New Year's Eve, and you know, I'm never gonna do those like long term, but I have the option of throwing one of those in, so I've got options, right? So that answers that question. My goal is 200. I'd like to get there by November 1st. I've got a maintenance routine kind of in my head. Last question. Do I ever plan on giving or posting progress pictures? She says that you can tell by looking at my face that I've made some good face gains, which I assume means that I've lost weight off my big fat face, but that I have never actually shown a full body shot and a progress picture. There's a reason for that. Number one, I'm not going to lie to you. When I was over 400 pounds, I was extremely reticent to allow myself to be photographed. I don't know that there are even any photographs in existence of me over 400 pounds. Furthermore, there are lots of people in my life, because of the pandemic and the lockdowns, that did not know I was over 400 pounds. So they never actually saw me when I got over 400 pounds. People saw me when I was like 375, 380, but they never saw me when I went the last final push over the crazy madness line and went up over 400 pounds. So there are a lot of people that never even saw me, like in my family, that never saw me that big. So like if they saw me now, they might not even think I look that much, like I've lost that much weight, because they never saw me when I was over 400. And like I said, I was extremely reluctant to allow my picture to be taken when I was over 400. I know a lot of people take a picture of themselves when they're at their heaviest and they want to use that as a comparison picture. I did not do that because once again, I'm not superstitious, but I was extremely reluctant. I thought that was very presumptuous to jinx myself. But I do have a photograph of myself shirtless at about 380, because at one point I was considering doing this. There was a website that had a weight loss challenge, and if you entered and lost weight, you could make some money. And I was so desperate for money that I was strongly considering doing it, but I did not end up doing it. But I do have a picture from only a couple of months before I started this process, where I wasn't quite 400, but I was within spitting distance of it. So the decision that I have made is that if I get to 280 and have lost 100 pounds from the time of that picture, then I will probably post those pictures on YouTube or wherever else. There's really no way of saying it other than it's humiliating and embarrassing. Like, I'm not real proud the fact that I let myself get to over 400 pounds, right? I mean, just doing the videos that I've done so far, even the first couple, like if I go back and watch the very first one, I guess Valerie is correct, because my face looks a little bit more bloated, and I'm just not real proud of my appearance now, never mind was I then. So the idea of having my picture taken with my shirt off was not something that appealed to me in any way, shape, or form. But because I do have the pictures of myself when I was about 380, I probably will post a progress picture once I've lost 100 pounds, Lord willing, if it happens, which I hope it will, and I plan to make it happen. So the answer to the question is yes, there will be a progress picture, but it will be sometime yet, another couple months probably. I'm in still an emotionally a little bit of a fragile state here. I'm doing my best, but I don't. I know, especially if you do the snake diet, Cole Robinson will not even coach you if you don't give him progress pictures, like a picture of you, your all-time heaviest, with your shirt off and different angles and stuff. And I haven't joined the snake diet Facebook group for a variety of reasons, but that's one of them, and that I don't have the pictures, and I'm really not interested in doing that. And I know that people don't mock you on there, right? Like, they're actually very supportive, and it's a very friendly environment, I'm sure, but it's just not something I'm interested in. There was a guy I've mentioned him before. His name's John, and he has a YouTube channel called The Fasting Fat Man. And he was like well over 500 pounds, and he went on a straight water fast, which I don't recommend by any stretch, and he lost a ton. Like, I forget how much it was in total that he lost in under a year, and he was in the 340s or something when he finally stopped updating his channel. I actually had an opportunity to talk to him because I picked his brain about fasting before he disappeared. And that guy took a lot of crap from people. Like, there were people that would literally just go on his YouTube page and just troll him and, mock him and belittle him and stuff like that for his weight and that. And he tried to use it as motivation, but I suspect it probably bothered him. Now, having said that, I've mentioned before, and I'll mention it again, I worked in social work for over 20 years, and I worked with some pretty hardcore. First job I ever had in social work was working in a medium security penitentiary. So I've been verbally abused by the best of them. I don't know if there's anything anybody can say to me on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube comments that is going to be anywhere near some of the abuse that I've taken. And I've been physically assaulted on various occasions. I got scars on me from people, been whacked over the head with a pool cue and hit with a shovel and stabbed in the arm with a pencil and all sorts of fun stuff. So generally speaking, abuse doesn't really get to me. But having said that, my attitude is, why bother? I'm not going to put myself out there like that until, once I can say, look, here's big fat Dave and here's not quite as fat Dave, then maybe I will. But it has to be, I have to be doing that for encouragement purposes, not for, hey, everybody look at me purposes, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty humiliated by the state that I've got myself in, and that's something that I struggle with on a daily basis too. I'm not going to lie to you. There are days, people will tell me, oh, you've lost a ton of weight, you lost 70 pounds, that's great, and blah, 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 blah. But there are days where I look at myself and it's very hard to keep from beating myself up and say, how did I ever let myself get to this point? There are days that I feel great about the fact that I weigh 330 pounds, and then there are days where I say I weigh 330 pounds. Like, what the hell? I'm literally 130 pounds over my ideal body weight. And that's just, it's very hard for me to deal with. But the way to deal with those feelings is not to stop or quit. It's to it motivates me to keep going, right? So yes, there will be progress pictures at some point in the future, but not anytime soon. But they will definitely come. I think my friend and my roommate has some pictures of me around that have been taken with the pets or whatever, where you can tell how big I was. So that's possible. I may see if I can hunt up some of those, but it's not like Jerome was huge into showing before and after pictures. But like I said, that's two things. Number one, he'd already gotten within spitting distance of his goal when he started his YouTube channel. Whereas I was only in 1 month into it when I started this. And number two, he was a professional photographer and videographer, so he had a ton of pictures. Plus, I'm in my 50s. I'm not a selfie guy, you know what I mean? I don't take a lot of selfies. And people that are younger than me, in their 30s and 40s, are big fans of taking pictures of themselves. I'm of that generation where I can remember when you used to take a picture, you had to have somebody else hold it, and it was a camera, and you had to get it developed. So it's not in my nature to be taking pictures of myself all the time. I don't have a lot. I have about 8 million pictures of my pets. If you look on my phone, it's 8 million pictures of my cats and dogs and stuff, but no pictures of me really. So, but it is something. I appreciate the question, and I appreciate it's not coming from a place of judgment. It's coming from a place of I think she's asking because she wants to celebrate the progress I've made, and that's great. But I don't have any of those right now. So those are my questions. What is my goal and when? What am I going to do for a maintenance routine? And do I have progress pictures? So that was Valerie's email, and I would like to thank her very much, and everybody else that has emailed me and left comments. like I said, we're up to 17 subscribers now, which doesn't sound like anything at all, but considering I started with one, we're climbing, and I may have to make some decisions. I'm still on the fence about do I publicize this thing or not. And like I said, once I've crossed 100 pounds, maybe I will kind of hype it up a little bit more on I guess where would I hype it up? Reddit, I guess. I have a Twitter account, but I only have like 14 followers there, and that's by choice. I used to have a lot more, and I got rid of a lot of them. And I don't use Facebook. I used to use Facebook. I do not use Facebook anymore. I do not really like Facebook all that much. I have a Facebook page, but I rarely use it. And I don't even know how else I would have to publicize this channel. But it may be something I would put some effort into if I lose 100 pounds. So who knows? Anyways, that's enough for me babbling. I hope you enjoyed meeting Jam the cat. Now you've met 2 out of the 3. You will never meet the other one because he's a big fraidy cat. He showed up on the porch here a few years ago, freezing to death, and we coaxed him inside and fed him and got him fixed and took him to the vet and everything, and then decided to keep him because we loved him so much. But his name's Tommy, and my friend refers to him as Timid Tommy because he's afraid of everything. He's got a little house, and he lives in his house. And he'll come out and get petted a few times a day and stuff, but jumping up on the table and being in a video, that's no way. You're never going to see that. I have friends who've been here who've never laid eyes on him because he's not a very sociable cat. He's a sweetheart, but he's not a diva like Jem and Lucy. So that's that. I've gone over my time again, so we'll put a pin in it, and I imagine my next video will be after the 18th, which is this coming Friday. At which point we will see if I've met my first major goal and if I've gotten below 327. So thank you very much, Valerie, for the email, and thank you everybody else for your kind comments and your emails, and we will talk to you soon.